grassy sides. If you look right up through the grassy fields, you'll make out the rooftop of the cabin. This was a homestead site known as the Barton place. Ralph Barton was a single man. Somehow he had struck up a conversation with a person that lived in Hell's Canyon at Granite Creek by the name of Martin Hibbs, and said wide open country, good place, livestock, good grass, and so he came and checked it out. Looked up the tops of these hills around here on the Oregon side, decided that he'd come down and find a place. Ended up down here, right here. Those grassy fields were actually his hay fields. He raised about 25 to 30 head of cows. Not a lot, but enough. Now, he didn't have a road into here. He brought his cattle in with a pack train, stuffed animals, and that's how he came in and out of Hell's Canyon. Take his animals to market that same way. While he was down here, he happened to run across a small vein of gold, and up in the canyon, right up behind the place, a couple of miles. He filed on it. Supposedly, the story was that he did it by foot. Thought he could go faster by foot up to Homestead, which was the closest. Homestead was up by the Snake River Bridge that he came in when he crossed over the Snake. From here, in one day, by hooking it over these mountains, because he had a lot of adrenaline when he found that gold. He eventually sold it off to an outfit known as the Winchester Mining Company, and they purchased the property, the gold mine and everything, and they operated for a couple of years. Actually, at the heyday, there was about 100 people working this gold mine. Unfortunately, the gold ran out, and they couldn't pay out their bills, and Ralph ended up back with the place. So, after he got it back, he moved down here again, completed a land homestead entry, and ended up with a 130-acre piece of property here. Sold it off and bought a better place downriver. That's how he was able to, by selling the property and getting a little bit of money and running gold and getting it back, he was able to live in Hell's Canyon most of his life. Most of the homesteaders that lived down here, about 3/4 of them, ended up selling out during the Depression or shortly after, because it was a pretty tough way to make a living in this canyon. Most of them either mined or raised livestock. There ended up some major ranches down here. This became part of a large sheep holding, this ranch here, and in 1976, when Mike was telling this became wild and scenic, and also the Hell's Canyon National Recreation Area, the federal government, who had given these folks the land via the Homestead Entry Act, purchased it back from them, I'll bet at a much higher rate, and created the Hell's Canyon National Recreation Area. This is all public lands now, owned by the United States government.